I arrived on Sunday morning. I left 10:30 p.m. My flight was scheduled for 10:30 p.m. on Saturday night. My original flight was scheduled for 8:30 a.m., but my nephew works at the airport, so he got me a buddy pass, and I did not make it onto the first flight, but I made it on the second flight, and I flew Delta. I got Delta, what is that one called? Where not Comfort Plus, Premium Select. So, I got like waited on and catered to. It was very fun. It was very lovely, very luxurious. Lots of space where my feet went. Very happy, very, very happy. We arrived, the plane took off late. I fell asleep literally before the plane even left because it was supposed to leave at 10:30. I was sitting there comfy. I was like, oh, this is nice. I took some of my water. I reclined my seat a bit and knocked out. I woke up and we was flying and it was dark. I was very confused. Actually, I woke up and they were serving people food, and I was like, where mine at? And the flight attendant was funny. He came up to me, he went, you snooze, you lose. I was like, oh, didn't know we were familiar with one another like this. And he was joking, so he laughed it off. I was like, just playing, and bring your food. And I was like, I knew he was joking. I wasn't mad, but I was like, I just woke up. I was not expecting that. Anyways, I'm easily jumpy. But, okay, so we landed about noon. Noon-ish, maybe past noon, and I got all my stuff figured out. I did my currency exchange. Big recommendation, exchange your currency in America first before you come here. The exchange rate was supposed to give me 180 euros for 200 American dollars. The airport charged a $50 fee, 6 euros for every, they charged 6% per euro or something like that. And I ended up with only 130 euros for my $200. They literally took 50 euros from me. Like, I lost 50 euros. So exchange your money in advance before you leave the country. Exchange your money in advance before you leave the country. Exchange your money in advance before you leave the country. If you don't know how to do it, your bank will do it for you. You just have to request it. So go to your bank, bring the money in cash or whatever you have to do. I don't know how they take it because I've never done it in advance. And this is my lesson that I should have. And just be like, hey, I want my money in euros. And they will give you your euros. Yup. Do that. Yeah, so that happened. After that, I got my suitcases. I brought 3 suitcases in a weekender and my purse and my camera. So I was traveling. I put my purse in one of the bags though, so I brought my camera. So I was traveling with 3 suitcases, the weekender bag, stuffed basically full, and my camera was around my shoulder. I was wearing a hoodie and I was holding my my coat at first. It wasn't that hard because I got a cart as soon as I got off the plane, so I was able to just pack my luggage on top of the cart. Then I caught an Uber. The Uber was fine. It was it wasn't super expensive. It was $20-something, I think. No, it was 15. It was only $15. It wasn't very expensive. But there will be taxi drivers trying to ask you to take a taxi. If you don't speak French, don't go with them. I spoke French, so I understood when they told me that a taxi to the same place my $15 Uber cost was $50-ish. Like, one taxi driver said 40-something and the other one said 60-something. Do not take a taxi. It's expensive. If they ask you a taxi, don't say yes and don't get in that taxi. Because when they tell you how much it is and you don't speak French and you hear numbers but you don't know, so you're just getting the taxi and then you're being charged $50 for a taxi that an Uber would have cost $15 to go to the same place, you're going to be upset. Also, another recommendation, if you're coming for a long period of time, change your Google Play Store to BlaBlaCar because you can't download the app unless you have your Play Store is in France. And once you have the app, you quite literally can find rides for literally fractions of what it costs for an Uber. The only thing is, if you're bringing a lot of luggage, you don't take BlaBlaCar because it's a multi carpooling type of situation. So people will take you. Literally you pay $2. They get paid the $2, and it basically, it's rather than Uber when they're picking you up and dropping you off and they're going about their business, it's people going to the same place you are. So you're tagging along and catching a ride with them to go where they're going. It's what's that thing called? Carpool type app. It's very, very lovely. I haven't used it yet, but I'm excited. What else? Okay, so my Uber dropped me off at the hotel. It was in Roissy, France, and I checked in. I went up to my room. I condensed my suitcases so that I took everything out my weekender, put it in my suitcase, and then put my camera in my weekender and condensed so that I would have less to carry. And I put my coat in my suitcase as well, so I wouldn't have to carry that either. And I was planning to go to sleep to wake up for 4 a.m. I couldn't fall asleep. So I stayed up until 4 a.m. and took a shower around 3-ish and then called an Uber. The Uber came and picked me up. He was very lovely, very helpful, and he brought me back to the airport because that is the train line that I had to take to get to the next train. So I got to the airport. It was a little difficult for me to figure out where the train was at first, and difficult for me to get my 3 suitcases there because there was no elevator. So this is my PSA, my public service announcement. Pack light if you're not willing to or in the financial capacity to spend a lot of money on transportation, because you will be lugging around luggage far if you're not going to be staying in Paris. I am not staying in Paris. I had to go somewhere that does not even have a train station in it. So I quite literally had to take a train to the town over and get picked up by somebody who was kind enough to pick me up to get to the town I was going to. Don't pack 3 suitcases in a weekender. Don't do it. It's not, you're not going to miss those clothes you leave behind. Trust me. I was putting stuff away and I was looking at them like, damn, I could have left you. You will not miss them. You just live, laugh, love. But, yeah, no, I got to the airport. The hotel was really nice, by the way. I didn't mention that. The hotel was lovely. I got a single room, but they also do dormitory types rooms, which is what I wanted originally, but they didn't have any for girls left. And the dormitory rooms were like $30 for a night if you got a dormitory type room. My room was $70-something for a night. It was lovely. It was amazing. I loved it. I was so happy. And they had food. They have food at the hotel. So literally, if you're like doing something like me, where I was literally just needed a place to sleep because I was staying there for the night. If you're doing something like that, like me, perfect place. Honestly speaking, if I had known I wasn't gonna be able to fall asleep, I would have stayed at the airport the whole day, because you can do that. But I thought I was gonna sleep, and so I got a hotel, and then I ended up spending like $120 for the Uber to the hotels, to and from the hotels, and the hotel itself, which is not ideal, but I did at the end of the day think I need somewhere to sleep, and I'd rather safe than sorry than sleeping in the airport and getting, I don't know, pickpocketed, because, you know, they'd be pickpocketing in France apparently. But yeah, no, so it's up to you. If you know you can stay awake, stay in the airport. If you don't think you can, this hotel in Rossi was very great. I'll probably link it below. Anyways, and yeah, I got on I found my way to my first train, and I bought a ticket at the station. It was a little confusing at first because I didn't know what type of ticket to buy, but I ended up buying, I don't remember what it was called, but it was a 2-hour ticket, so it worked for 2 hours, including transfers, and it was around $13. And yeah, it was very useful. I got on the train. Luckily for me, there was an elevator, and a kind man from China helped me with my luggage to get on the elevator, because I helped him read the ticket booth thing, because he only spoke Chinese and a little bit of English, and I speak just enough Chinese to tell him what he needed to choose. I was like, Shi, the $11 one. Like, I know just that much. Anyways, so I helped him out, and then he helped me to the train, very kind. And we sat by each other, and we Google Translate, had a conversation the whole train ride together. We got off at the same stop too, which is really fun. And yeah, he was really lovely. He was telling me all about his adventures. He walked to Spain. I haven't heard from him since. I gave him my Facebook because he said he'll help me learn Chinese better. Don't know if that'll actually happen. But he was telling me about how he was planning to walk to Spain. So hope that went well. He was very kind. He was very lovely. And then I'm in the train station trying to find my second train. I get on my second train to get to where I need to be. I think I took the wrong train, but to this day, I don't know, because I took the train that it said I should have taken on the Google results for where I need to go. And I didn't end up where I was told I would end up. And then I was walking in circles, and I couldn't figure out where I was. And I was getting flustered and confused and frustrated, and I was asking French people for help, and they were telling me where to go, and I was going where they were saying, and then I was still not where I was supposed to be, and I'd ask another French person, they'd tell me the exact opposite of what somebody else told me. Finally, I asked one of the French people working there, and he was like, oh, you need to exit the station and walk. It's a 10-minute walk. So I'm looking at him crazy, because I have 3 suitcases and a weekender, and he's telling me it's a 10-minute walk to the next place. Outside, it's still dark out. The sun has not risen. It's cold and it's raining. And he's telling me I have to go outside. So I'm looking at him like, walking's the only option? Because a different dude told me I could take a train. And he's like, no, you should walk. It's the easiest way. And so I'm like, you know what? I didn't look for the train. Haven't been able to find the train. I'll walk. He said, walk. I'll walk. I get outside. I'm walking. The GP, do not use Google Maps in France. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's the worst. The Google Maps is sending in circles. So I'm confused because I'm like, the Google Maps is not working. I don't know where I am. It's dark. I have 4 pieces of luggage. I'm going crazy. It's cold now. It's raining. I don't have an umbrella because I'm carrying 4 pieces of luggage. I can't hold an umbrella. Like, it's not possible. And it's just me and my Lauryn Hill hoodie. I have a video I took. I will add it right after this story. Me and my Lauryn Hill hoodie thugging it out in France. Would just like to document that it is me and my Lauryn Hill hoodie against the world. And by the world, I mean Paris. And by Paris, I mean France, because I don't think I'm in Paris. I'm at Bercy or wherever I'm at. And I hate it here. I hate it here. I hate France, guys. I've been here for 24 hours and I hate France. Is that not crazy? I haven't even been here for 24 hours. I've been here for less than a day and I already don't like it. So, yeah. And their sidewalks are not don't have a baby in a stroller in France. Their sidewalks hate wheels. Like, this is actually ludicrous. Anyways, bye. So, I quite literally am just like, okay, let me walk. I'm walking. At first, the walk is fine. Like, after I like quit Google Maps and decide to I read what Google Maps says, like the direction on it, instead of trying to follow the GPS because the GPS keeps changing. And I just read the directions, the physical directions, and I'm like, okay, it says follow. And the good thing about France is there's signs everywhere. There's so many signs. I love that. That much is so great. Like, you know how like in America, like you have the street sign, like where the cross sections meet. France, you won't even hit another road and there will still be a sign being like, oh, you're still on this road. Just so you know, you haven't left this road yet. And so that was very useful, very helpful for me because I was going crazy. So I'm walking. I wasn't going crazy. Let me not stop. Let me not over exaggerate. But I was not having fun. So I'm walking. It's like at the roundabout, you keep walking. So I'm like, okay, I get to the roundabout. I finally get to where I think I'm supposed to be. The Google Maps is not telling me if I'm in the right place or not. It keeps changing, right? So I get to where I think I'm supposed to be. I take an elevator down to the train station. I'm looking for my train, don't see it. So I go over to the booth with the helpers, just like you have in New York. And I'm like, hey, bonjour, j'ai une question. I have a question. I always say I have a question. They know I have a question. I'm here at your booth, your help booth. You know I have a question, but I just need to let you know I speak a little French, not a lot of French. So I ask them and they're like, you need to go back up and out. You need to take that elevator right back up and go outside again. I'm looking at them like, the GPS told me I'm supposed to be here. So why would I leave? This is a train station. I'm supposed to be at trains. But you know what? Let me trust the natives. Let me trust the workers. Though trusting the natives and the workers before didn't get me that far. So I go back up and I work further. I'm walking. I did not mention the worst part. These sidewalks in France are not all flat. You know, like in America, like sidewalks are like concrete and you just they're cobble. So it's like stones and they're different heights and there's ridges and bumps. And your suitcases don't drag over them because they're ridges and bumps. I got stuck at a sidewalk for 5 minutes because I had to take each piece of all the 4 pieces of luggage I had. The weekender was on top of my carry-on. So my carry-on, I had to take the weekender off, put it on a strap over my shoulder. It's heavy as hell. And then pick up my carry-on and walk it over the cobblestone. Then I had my 2 big pieces of luggage. I had them strapped together to make it easier, but I can't pick up both of them at the same time because I'm not 100 pounds strong. I'm not 100 pounds strong. That's not me. I'm so sorry. I'm not 100 pounds strong. So I had to literally like de-strap them and take them one by one over the cobble, right? Okay, I did that. That's great. Whatever, right? I'm going on smooth sidewalk again. More cobble. For literally a 10-minute walk turned into like a 30-minute walk because I had to keep picking up suitcases and going back for them, picking up and going back for them. Like horrible time. And it was still dark. By this time, it's like 7 a.m. and it's still dark. What time does your sun rise, France? What time does your sun rise? I have a question because why is it dark? So I'm walking at this point to the station that I think I'm supposed to go to instead. And more cobbles. And I'm just kind of standing there looking at my luggage, looking up ahead, wondering what life has done to, what I have done to deserve this in life. Wonder what I have done to deserve this in life. And a kind man stops and goes, "Do you need help?" You can tell he's in a hurry. I was like, "Yes, I do need help." So he's like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "The train station." He was like, "Oh, me too." So we go together, and he picks up my carry-on for me and runs with my carry-on. So I have my 2 other suitcases, and I'm running behind him, dragging them behind me. I get past the cobble, so it's easier. And he's running. He's not running super fast, but he was running. And I was like, "Hold on, you took the light suitcase. I have 2. Please be serious." And we run all the way to the train station. We get there. There's an elevator, and he's like, "Do you want me to take this up this escalator for you?" I was like, "No, you've been a great help. I'm gonna take the elevator." And he's like, "Okay." And I'm like, bonjour, and he's like, "Bonjour," French. And he gets on the escalator, and I get on the elevator, right? So I get on the elevator, and I go up, and I get there, and I'm at the train station. The train is at 8:30, so I'm chilling until 8:30. It's like 7 something at this point. I'm chilling until 8:30, so I'm like there for an hour. I bought myself a tea. It was disgusting. It was English breakfast tea. It was absolutely horrid. Don't ever buy it. And, I drank my little tea, and I chilled and used my phone until the train came. I got on the train. Amtrak has, like, a different luggage area for, like, lower levels so that you can put heavier stuff. They didn't have that. I had to lift my heavy luggage above my head on top of the luggage thing. So I'm on the train, and I'm going to Auxerre. I fall asleep. I finally wake up. I have an email. I check my email. "Sorry for the inconvenience because of unforeseen something." I don't care. I'll take a screenshot and show you it. I'll put it right there. They weren't going to Auxerre. The train was stopping at La Roche, Megène, whatever the stop is called, and it wasn't going to Auxerre anymore. Like, Auxerre was no longer the last stop. La Roche was the last stop. I could not get to Auxerre. I have someone coming for me to Auxerre. So at this point, it's like 40 minutes before 40 minutes before my train was supposed to arrive. Luckily, the person who was going to pick me up, the professor who was going to pick me up, she lives across from the train, so she hadn't left yet. It wasn't an inconvenience for her to not go to Auxerre, because it's not like she drove all the way to Auxerre, now she had to drive all the way to La Roche. She just had to drive to La Roche. I don't know how far La Roche was as a drive. I never mapped it, I never asked, but I emailed her, and she was like, "Oh, no worries, I'll come." She was like, "I'll come get you from La Roche instead." And I was like, "Okay, thank you so much." I was prepared to spend like $50, $60 on an Uber that I did not have. She came and got me, very lovely woman. I got off the train. There's only stairs to exit the train station. I have 3 suitcases in a weekender, and there's only stairs to exit the train station. So I make it very obvious. I don't ask for help because I was scared, because like my French is, I like, let me not act like I don't speak French. I speak French, and I could have easily asked for help. I could have easily communicated with someone who was helping me, but I was like scared to ask for help because like there was police officers. Something happened with somebody, and there was police officers there, and everybody else like other people were upset because Auxerre was not a stop, and I don't know, it was just like weird and hectic, and I didn't know who to ask, and everybody was like a white boy, and white boys scare me, so I was just kind of standing there. But I put my luggage right by the stairs, the long, steep stairs, and made it very obvious I needed help. I looked at the luggage, looked around, looked down the stairs, looked around, looked at the luggage, looked around, looked at the stairs, looked around. I made it very obvious, like, how am I going to do this? Nobody budged. So I take my first suitcase down the stairs. And now I'm scared because I don't want to leave my suitcase alone at the bottom of this flight of stairs. I take my first suitcase down the stairs. I go back up to take my next 2. I was planning on trying to take them 2 at a time, but I tried left and couldn't. And a nice, kind black man stops. It doesn't matter that he's black. It's not important. But I just want to let you know. I want you guys to keep track of who helps me every time I need help. Anyways, a nice black man helps me. He grabs one of my suitcases for me. He's like, "You need help?" I was like, "Yeah, thank you." And I grabbed the other one, and we both walked down together. Right. So we walked down together. And now I have all 3 of my suitcases down there. My 3 trips turned into 2 trips. Thank you, kind man. I walk to exit again. There's a flight upstairs up to exit. Infrastructure, accessibility, none. So there's no elevator. Keep in mind, I don't know what they do when people are in wheelchairs, but I get to the stairs and I'm like, and I stop. And I go to do, once again, one at a time. I grab one. I'm walking. I look to my right. There's a man holding my other suitcase. I look behind me. another man holding my other suitcase. I'm gagged. I'm like, oh, thank you, kind men. Oh my goodness. And one of them was holding my weekender too. I was like, ah. And they were both brown. I couldn't tell what kind of brown, but brown. Not Latino brown, like Middle Eastern, South Asian brown. Thank you, kind people. And they helped me bring myself up. And then I got up there and I'm looking around. 5 minutes later, the professor picks me up. She picks me up. Woo, we get in the car, put myself in her car. We're driving. She's very kind. She's very nice. She's English. We're speaking English. And we drive all the way to Toucy. By the time we get there, we pull up and she enjoys school. I meet some of the professors, some of the faculty. I meet some of the students, and we're walking around. She shows me my apartment. It's where I am right now. I'm not going to show you guys. I think by the weekend I'll show you it because it's not ready yet. And I want to make it I want it to look cute before I show you guys. At least I want it to look unpacked. Right now it's not unpacked. My suitcase is in the suitcase right there. So we'll show you it there. And yeah, she was very kind. She was very lovely. We got here, I got my tour, and finally they got me some supplies from my space, and then I asked her and then I lunched with her and some other teachers, and then she drove me to the supermarket before class. I went to the supermarket, I bought some necessities I needed, and I walked back. Got lost on my walk back, walked all the way to the edge of town where the sign to enter the town is, where it literally says, "You're here at Toucy." I met the town sign. I'm at the start of the town. So I'm like, this is not correct. This is not where I'm supposed to be. So I walk back, and I see students. What a smart person does. Students, I live in school. I felt students. This sounds crazy, right? I was following that girl, and I was like, damn, oh my god, I'm feeling horrible. Like, I feel like a creep. I was like, I'm behind. This little girl is minding her business. And to be fair, I wasn't following her like a weird way where I'm like, breathing on her neck, or I'm like, here, I was just walking, and she was walking, She was behind us, and I feel like she was on. Finally, I see more students that are coming downhill. So I'm like, okay, guys, if they're coming from that way, I should go in that way. So I went uphill, past the cemetery, and there I was at the campus. I was huffing and puffing, but I was on the campus, and I walked my butt back to the school, to where I was supposed to be. Couldn't find my apartment. Got lost trying to find my apartment. Walked by the same group of kids like 3 times. They probably laughed and made fun of me, but I went and asked for help. A lady walked me to my apartment. I found out where it was, and now I know where it is. So yeah, got back to my apartment, unpacked a little, and then I went and met up with the professor who drove me to the store because she was going back to Auxerre at 5, and I need to ride to Auxerre to get the train in the morning. Because yesterday, my first official day, I had to go to Dijon for a meeting. So the meeting was for all the Dijon assistants de langue, so all the Dijon language assistants. And it was for everyone in the Dijon. It's called an académie. It's like they section off different parts of France into academies, and those places are where you're assigned. So I was assigned to Dijon, but the town I was assigned to was Toucy. Other people are assigned to Dijon, but then they're given Auxerre, they're given Sens, they're given this place, that place, this place, that place, and all of them are like not actually that close to the actual Dijon. Like 2.5 hour train ride to Dijon, and keep in mind, I had to drive to the train first. Actually, 2.5 hours. I caught the 6:30 train, I arrived at 9. Yeah, that's 2.5 hours. 6:30 train, I arrived at 9. That's 2.5 hours. Exactly, right? 2.5 hours train. Absurd. So I booked a hotel again. I spent like $8 in this hotel, and she gave me a ride. And I went and got self-service. She took me to the phone store, and I got self-service, so now I have a French phone number. I booked the hotel. I went and stayed at the hotel. I just slept there. I literally just slept. That's it. And I woke up at 4:45. My train was supposed to be at 5:30. So I woke up at 4:45. I was like, okay, I have 45 minutes. And the train was supposed to be less than a 10-minute walk from the hotel I was staying at. I try to use Google Maps for the 3rd time after I've already been. Oh, by the way, the time I got lost on the way back from the grocery store, it's because Google Maps was sending me in circles, would not send me to the right place, kept rerouting, kept sending me to the wrong place. The only other place Google Maps was ever this bad was Korea. But I'm outside by 5:15, thinking, oh, it's a 10-minute walk, giving myself 15 minutes should be good. And it's dark, and I'm in Auxerre, not even Toucy. At least Toucy is like, oh, like I could find my way back because it's Toucy. I'm in Auxerre. I don't know anyone. It's 5 in the morning. It's dark. I'm alone. I'm trying to find where I'm supposed to go. I'm walking in circles. I'm in the middle of the road. I'm being rerouted. I'm crying because I can't figure out where I am. I have no choice. I call the French professor. It's 5 a.m. and I wake this woman up. So I call her and I'm like, hey, can't figure out where I am. I'm really stressed. Like, hey. And she's like, oh, like, I'll send you a map. So I'm like, okay, thank you. I walk while she's like texting me. Like, she gets off the phone to try and find the map for me. And I'm like on the phone with my friend because I'm like I call my mom and I'm walking with my mom. I'm just walking because I didn't want to stay in one spot for too long because like it's dark and I'm alone. I start walking in the middle of the street because I'm too scared to walk on the sidewalk in case somebody comes out of an alley. And so I'm walking in the street. I see Burger King. I remember seeing Burger King on Google Maps, but it wasn't near the train station. But I see Burger King, so I'm like, okay. Burger King. Word, that's what's up. I know that was on the Google Maps in the vicinity, so I'm still in the same vicinity of the hotel and the train. I keep walking straight. She calls me back. I'm staring at the train station. I got there. There's alone at the train station, and I decide to call someone to keep me company because it's dark and scary. And I called like a few friends and ended up staying on the phone with this one in particular who is a little bit more than a friend. And we were talking, da 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 da. And then the train arrived, and I got on the train, and there was a transfer. The conductor checked my ticket. Woo! Didn't buy it for no reason. The conductor checked my ticket, and I got off at La Roche to transfer for the Dijon line. Transferred there, got on the train, saw two people who looked to me like they could be language assistants. Like, I don't know if I have like an eye for it, but I looked at them and I said, "It's a giving language assistant." And they were on the same train as me. We rode the train and we got off at the same stop. I was like, but then they went in different directions than me. So I was like, okay, that's my business, right? I take the bus to the school I'm supposed to be at because they said to take the bus. And there's a girl on the bus, and she also looks like she could be a language assistant. I don't know. I'm just kind of intuitive. And I'm like, ooh. So I get on the bus. I pay with my debit card. Tell me why they stop the bus and the bus fare evasion police come on the bus and start checking to see who didn't pay. So she didn't pay. My good sister who I thought might get listened to, she gets jacked because she tried to pay cash and they didn't accept it and told her it was fine. She got on without paying. The police are like, you need to pay. She's like, I guess she didn't, her French was not been that good, or she just didn't understand them because she like, they were like, and I hear one of the policemen asked, do you speak English? So I heard that, and I turned, something, she's black, so, sister, I'm ready to defend. I turned to see what she says, because I want to interrupt if she speaks English. If she speaks English, I can help. And if she speaks English and French, and I'm being nosy, and I'm over here trying to be Captain Sabo for no reason. Now it looks silly. So I go interject, but then they get her off the train, and they get her off the bus, and I don't hear her answer, and the bus closes. And I just see her, and I just think, wow, you just don't girl. So I eventually get to the school, I get off the bus, I trip walking out of my seat, because I'm on one of the elevated seats. I trip and fall walking out. Not super bad, but I trip and I didn't even mention this. I tripped at the train station after I was like running around for hours in the morning. I tripped as soon as I walked into it was Bercy. It was the Bercy station, the one that took me to La Roche, but was supposed to take me to Auxerre, but didn't go all the way to Auxerre. I tripped as soon as I walked through the doors. I tripped over my luggage and fell, and my luggage fell, and I fell in front of everyone. Embarrassing. But anyways, back to this. I get to school, kind of like walking in circles. Looking around because I'm not really sure where the school is. School was right in front of me. I'm stupid. So I walk to the school. I get there. There's a bunch of students and there's a bunch of non-students. I'm looking around, and I'm just like, what do I do? And obviously I speak French, but I don't know why. For some reason my brain took over and it was like, no, you don't speak French. You can't say a word to these people. Just move in silence. I walk in. I see everybody else signing their names. I sign my name. I see the people putting the reason they're there. I put the reason I'm there. I look at the woman. She says, I don't remember saying, she probably said bonjour or something like that. I said bonjour and I keep walking. Standing there looking around because I have no idea where I'm going. I'm just, Finally, the same two people who I said looked like who were on the train with me, who looked like they could have been not English, language assistant, show up. I was right. So then they start walking. I start following them. And they're like, are you an English assistant? I'm like, yes, I am. And they're like, do you know? I was like, actually, I saw bigger people also looking at me. Go to this building. I'm not sure. So I go. And they're like, oh, yeah, so it was right. It was right. That was where we should go. I just need to stop myself. I need to stop being a wimp and do stuff. So anyways, we went into the building and wrong. Quite late now. It started at 8:30. But from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. It was an introductory meeting. So we played games. We did icebreakers. We got to know each other and stuff like that. And we learned about like the French education system and like the role and stuff like that. And yeah. And so I met a lot of nice people. I met some British girls. They were all lovely. I met a Spanish girl. She was very lovely. Met some Americans. I was not shocked because obviously, but I met some Americans. I met some black girls. Very happy for that one. Love my black girls. And so it was a very eventful day. We had lunch in the cafeteria where the students eat. And me and the girls I was eating with, the British girls, got bullied out of our spots by a group of teenage boys who wanted to sit where we were sitting. And they didn't bully us, but they stood there and stared at us until we got up and moved, which is they kind of bullied us. Anyways, so they did that, and then we left and went back to the room after lunch. Obviously, more like icebreakers and stuff, stuff like that. We did like a team building exercise where we had to plan a presentation for the students to do in English, stuff like that. It was very fun. We chose music. My group chose music. Almost all the other groups chose food. One group chose family. It was there was 5 groups that chose food, and 1 group that chose family, and 1 group that chose music. And so that was really fun. Yeah, and we played Kahoot. I lost terribly. And that's basically that for what we did there. The one moment that actually I'm not mentioning, but was a very important moment, was I met a South African. A white South African. Now, obviously, I'm aware that white people exist in South Africa. It's just common knowledge. But I've never met a white South African before. So it was quite interesting meeting a white person from South Africa for the first time. But what was even more interesting is that this white South African made sure to let everyone know they hate South Africa, hate being from there, and purposely tried to disguise their South African accent so no one knows. And there were no other black people around when they said this. But I changed the topic because I just met these people. And I don't think the first few hours we know each other is the right time for me to curse out a white South African. I really just didn't think it was the appropriate thing to do in the moment. We had to finish working in a group after that. So I just went, why don't you like South Africa? Or no, I said, why don't you like your South African accent? And they were like, who wants to be from South? They said something like, why would I want people to know I'm from South Africa? I was like, oh. But to be fair, no, I was going to try and give them the benefit of the doubt, but there's no benefit. I was really like, oh, maybe they were like white and they know that they shouldn't be from South Africa because they're white and they don't want people to know they're from South Africa because, oh, I'm white. But see, me personally, if I was a white person from South Africa and I had white guilt, I would have been like, well, as a white person, how dare I be from South Africa? I wouldn't be like, I hate South Africa. Who wants to be from South Africa? That's not what I would say. But, maybe I'm just different. I'm black. So, don't have that problem. But, that happened. And then, that was like at the beginning, though. That was not towards the end. When it ended, we all got up to leave. Me and the Osair group, because I'm from Toucy, but there's the Osair people and me are they're my nearest neighbors, and they're I'm low-key Osair. I'm not Osair, but that's squad. So we kind of grouped together, and along with a few other tutors from other schools, and we all walked together, and we walked and stopped to get food because Toucy has nothing open by a certain hour, and if I can get food in Dijon, I was starting tonight. So I got myself a tuna sandwich on my baguette, I got myself 2 Madeleines, and I got an orange juice I still haven't drank, and I have them in the fridge because the fridge is not very working it. And so, I got that, and then we went to and I got myself some CeraVe face wash at the train station, and one of the American boys, he bought himself a rice bowl. What is a bowl? He bought himself a rice ball onigiri from some shop nearby. I was like, how'd you know that was here? He said, oh, I'm just familiar with it. I'm like, I don't like you. What do you mean you're familiar with it? You didn't tell nobody. That's so rude. But yeah, and then we all got the train. We got on the train. I bought my train ticket. They didn't check my ticket again. $20. Anywho, we were on the train. Me and the white people were talking. I'm calling them white. That's nice. Me and the other Osair assistants were talking. Well, there was 4 of us. There was 2 a Latina and a Latino Osair. Languages, but they were Spanish languages. They were only talking to each other in Spanish. They sat separately from us, talking to each other. There's me and the British girl and the white boy from New Jersey, and all of us are talking together. We get to Osair. The professor who agreed to pick me up is in Osair. He picks me up. We drive back to Toucy. We chat on the way. He doesn't speak English, so we're speaking French, but he has to speak slowly and baby-like to me. And we're speaking French. We get back here. It's dark. It's scary. I'm scared. I don't even want to walk back to my apartment. The school is spooky. And he walks me all the way back to my apartment. He's so kind. Oh, so nice, so kind. And I come inside, and I stay up until 3 a.m. unpacking, cleaning, and doing the works. So I clean my whole bathroom. I clean my sink, my kitchen sink. I clean my wardrobe that they gave me. And what else did I clean? That's all I've cleaned so far. Now that I'm here today, I was planning on cleaning some more. But I wanted to do this first. Bye. Good night. You're not going to see me at all anymore because I'm going to go wash my face and go to bed. Good night. If I decide to stay up and do something, I will film it.